Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry for the pop. I'm here. Ready to go. Kinda. I can be louder today. I can actually talk louder today because there's not people here. I am home alone, and I've set up a series of elaborate traps involving micro machines and paint buckets and... No, welcome to the snowstorm. It started to snow out. It might not last for more than an hour, though. There's your view into the outdoors. I've had a 20-ounce Red Bull, and the computer is still stuttering with the video a little bit because I didn't restart it. Meanwhile, my desktop has been restarting randomly, and my glucose is full of blood. Oh my god, it's actually kind of fucking crazy. Jeez. Oh yeah, I shouldn't curse so early. Yeah, look at that. I had a Wawa hoagie. They're full of carbs, but I'm also full of insulin, so we'll see how that pans out. Hey, thanks everyone for the follows. I see a lot of follows. I don't know where y'all are coming from, who mentioned me, but I want them dead. We gotta clean up this desk. We have sort of the dregs of the previous week of projects sitting here. I'll turn off thermals for a minute. Actually, thermals are fun. I also was able to turn the thermostat down so you can see that the tips of my fingers are actually kind of cold right now. It's not warm. It's not warm around here lately. Am I gonna keep the jar of methyl ethyl ketone, or how do I throw this out? I need to like put it outside so it can air out a little bit. Oh, and it looks like, oh no, that's the tape I used. Yeah, this'll go in the pile to go upstairs. What's up, Kervos? It is steady snowing out right now. It's very pretty. Very pretty. My folks took the dog away from me. My folks took the dog away. I'm not allowed to have the dog. Hey, pro amateur. Yeah, that's not the case. They took the dog down to my brother's because that's where we are convening for Christmas, and I am being browbeaten to go down there Christmas Eve. But I don't want to travel on Christmas Eve, so I'm going down there Christmas Day for a nice long drive. It's gonna be like a lot of driving to get there and back. -20°C. I think we're getting -12. The temperature swing for the day today is -12 to +12 degrees Celsius, approximately, or 9 degrees Fahrenheit up to 55. But I think we're in the lower dregs of that right now. I had to help all the holiday packing yesterday because there were a lot of heavy things to lift. So I am now back. Pew, 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 pew. Pew, pew, computer music. -5 last week, about 10, jeez. Yeah, I don't know exactly what it's doing out there right now. All this bullshit. Just get it into a bin. Are these still rubbery? Nah, they solidified. They've solidified, which means I could probably test them to see if that methyl ethyl ketone treatment actually worked. So put them all in a pile. These I don't really need anymore. Those are failed attempts. I mean, they probably seal water away, but... This is the nice moody stuff that DJ Everyday spins. Moody, moody. Very dark. Dark and moody. Mysterious. This music is. -30, 90 wind gust. Jeez. -30. You know, Arctic Circle? Jesus Christ. Where's the other part of this thing? Oh, there it is. There it is. All this stuff. Well, if I ever need an oil compressor, guess I got this. I don't think I'll ever need one though. Oh, this thing too. The car ABS I'm still having trouble with, of course, because it wouldn't be my car if something wasn't fucking broken. I think the switch for the brake lights went out. I don't know, the car had been sitting at a lower voltage for a long time, and I think maybe it just like got used to it. Or maybe there was a power surge or something, I don't know. I got some of the tubes, by the way. The tubes that I want to try looping around the laser, but this is the one with the thicker wall, which means it'll bend better, but there's also not as much flow through it. So I don't know if I want to use it or not. Get this out of here. Here, actually, these go with it too. All this stuff for this project, we got to get out of the way. I'm gonna work on something else today. Wind and snow since 1998. What was the year that we got that it was like 94 that we got like the flash ice all over everything. I remember that one very well. We were out of school for like a week. Brother and I modified the RC cars to have skis in front. Peak adolescence right there. We didn't live close to anyone who we could like play with. We didn't have like local friends because we went to private school and everybody was distributed. And the neighborhood we were in didn't have kids. There were some, not many. A little bit too much suburban crawl and sprawl for a good childhood, but whatever. But yeah, we ended up modifying the RC cars and we drove it up on the ice. And I think we made an ice fort at some point. This song is cool. This is a cool song. Oh, it's actually fatting on. Look what the cat dragged in. Are you snowed in? I'm getting snowed on. Why aren't you coming on? Wait a minute, hold on one sec. Full on blizzard? Jeez. Desk light didn't turn on. What's going on? Buddy, I'm gonna unplug it and plug it back in. Maybe it got a bad IP, maybe we got a power blip. That would actually make sense as to why my computer was off. Got like a little power blip. A little blippo. There we go. Now let's test if it turns off. It does. Okay, there we go. Yeah, just needed a reboot. We're gonna try to make a jig for my circular saw, because I can make a lot of noise today. Actually sounds fun. Yeah, it was great. Trees covered in glass like ice. Yeah, that happened all over here. And also the power lines. So people were without power for significant amounts of time. I don't know if we thought to go to a hotel or not, but we didn't. Ended up hanging out. Place for everything in this place. I gotta clean up a little bit so that we can get going here. The screwdriver should be with my car tools. My car tools aren't even over here. The steering wheel stuff. All these fittings and things that are behind the control panel. I'm gonna move the control panel off to the side for a little bit. That thing will have to get all wired up too. I gotta figure out the radiator, all the 3D prints that I'm gonna do for the radiator. Wait, my track lights didn't come on either. What's going on? I think power must have blipped while I was at Wawa, because if those shits aren't coming on, I don't know what to do about that. They're on their own independent circuit too. I think I have to pull them up on the computer, and then I need to reset the actual device because it probably tried to find an IP address and it had trouble. They should be on a fixed IP, but when everything comes back up at once, stuff kind of has a little bit of trouble. Farm with tons of space to mess around on wood fire. Yeah. We had a farm in New Hampshire that my grandparents were at. New Hampshire. There was nothing to do. Like nothing. Like legitimately nothing to do. It was horrible. Left at noon today. Big win. Hell yeah. It's always good. Big dubs. I'm alone. And my folks took the dog. So I had mayhem, roommates leaving, folks coming over, stealing my dog, fucking running away with it. No, the dog's going down to Maryland at my brother's, and then I will join everyone on Christmas Day because I don't want to deal with traffic. I just don't want to deal with traffic. So I have no dog, and no one is here. Nobody's here. So we can do some weird stuff today. I'm clearing off the bench right now. And I need to build a jig. I need to be able to cut 80/20 rail with ease and precision and accuracy and not have the cut look stupid. Boom, boom, boom. Man, FK Productions asked me about a particular value of capacitor on stream, and I said he was perfectly welcome to come over and get it, and he did nothing of the sort. Probably because Micro Center is like the same distance from him. So here we are, and I just have this capacitor sitting on my desk. I guess I'll throw it out. You know, who cares? There's no rules. There's no rules anymore. It's just the Wild West. Put LEDs away, put this away. Old burn the subs controller. Don't know what to do with that. Some old stuff sitting over here. Jeez. Just like a thing of silver. I don't know where that came out of storage somewhere. I don't know what that's doing around. No, I'm not allowed to build a Tesla coil. I'm not allowed to. If I build I had at one point, I had a Tesla coil in here. A miniature one, right? Because it's small, it should be safe, right? It's simultaneous, it turned off all the lights. My touch panel lights, it turned them off, and then it permanently ruined some stuff. No, I'm not allowed to have a Tesla coil because Tesla coils create a lot of electromagnetic interference, and I have a vital bodily organ that is also powered and used to be touchscreen. Well, my cell phone's touchscreen too, so if that gets took out, then I'm dead. So yeah, I'm not allowed to do anything with Tesla coils. Not allowed to, they're too unpredictable. You don't see Tesla coils on people's streams a whole lot because they ruin computers. Ruin computers, and they don't even seem to care. Where's this gonna go? Hot knife. Hot knife needs a spot. There's a spot for the hot knife. No, okay, I'm gonna have to lean in here. It's not a great spot for the hot knife. Not the best spot. Alright, it can sit there. Alright. What's next? Self-certified mastered auto technician from the internet. Put a magnet on this and put it on the computer. It's like my refrigerator. There we go. Old burn the subs electronics. I don't really have any particular strong love for this. It can stay there for now. Scrap, 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 scrap. Scrap go to scrap pile. Vice grip. You wait there. Scrap to scrap pile. My level, my surface plate is something that I literally never use. So I don't know if I want to continue to maintain the surface plate over there. I think I should store it. All right, let's see. Brushy, brushy. Brush off the desk. That was the controller for Burn the Subs. That was what ran the motors previously. So the methyl ethyl ketones softened the PETG to the point where it felt like it was rubberized, although it dried out after we took the print out of the methyl ethyl ketones. And I don't know. The fact that the print went rubbery might mean that some of the area between the layers sort of became one, because it seems like the material at least softened up a little bit. But I don't think there's a great chance that that magical thing happened. I don't think there's a great chance that that actually is going to seal. No, it wasn't a thermal camera. No, that thing's too expensive to treat like that. Smells wintry out. I got a whiff of the air coming in from outside. I should wash this down with like a fire hose. Oh, this needs to go over to the other bin. So much project detritus. So to make today happen properly, I need to find my circular saw, wherever it went. Oh, there it is. Then I need my 2 linear rails. These are a little bit buried. A little bit buried. B-E-R-R-I-E-D. I have these 2 aluminum rails in case I need them. I don't know if we need them. We used one of these posts as a potential laser holder. So I don't know if that's been permanently modified or even where it went. Yeah, it's just Windex. Repair ESD surface coatings. Oh, that's kind of cool. That's a weird substance for sure. No, I just use like regular old Windex to clean everything. Always have. I guess they eased up the formula a little while ago because people just would not stop cleaning monitors with it. But what people would do is bathe their monitors in Windex, and the Windex would get down into like the fluorescent tube of the screen. So that's bad. But like I've never had trouble. I always do a very light spritz and then just wipe it down on the whole surface, and it's fine. I'm not a it's not like, who is it, Procter and Gamble? Who makes you? Based on Windex original lab testing against leading competitor other competitors? Nielsen Scantrack US 52 weeks ended 3/29/19. What? Oh, bottle made of 100% ocean-bound plastic. So the bottle is made of plastic that's definitely going in the ocean? Cool. I don't think that's what that means. No, you shut up. Nielsen Company. All right, Nielsen. Aren't they the ratings people? Whatever. Anyway, I'm not supported by them. I just use the stuff. It just works for me for all my electronics and whatnot cleaning. I happen to have a supply here just for cleaning the house, so that's what I use. I mean, when we're not done with the circular saw, but at some point I want to take a break and use some threaded inserts that I have to repair my stools because the Stools, the wood on it has become kind of soft, and I would like to actually lock them to the bases. So the wood screws that were there previously are just not going to do it, and I don't think having a wood screw put pressure on that wood is going to do good to it. I think what it's going to do is split the wood, which it has done to some of the stool surfaces before. I want to preserve these stools. I like them. They're from like the 60s. My grandfather bought them for his bar. And you know, they've just been shop stools since I was a tyke. So I would love to keep these. So what I'm gonna do is drill it out, put a threaded insert in there, and then there's less pressure on the wood, and the threaded insert gets a good grip with a lot of material. I think that'll work. I think that'll work out. And then I get a nice threaded, you know, machine threaded hole that I can use to put like a hex bolt into. Here I am again, probably a subsidiary. If you go up the tree long enough, you'll probably find Pepsi-Cola owns like Nielsen Company, and so Windex and Pepsi are featured on my stream, and yet I'm not given $1 by these fuckers. These mega conglomerate chemical companies. I've had a 20-ounce Red Bull already. My heart's gonna explode. How are we gonna do this with these parts? We should be able to. I gotta see about this bracket too. Let me try to find that before we start. I think it's probably up here, huh? Oh, here's another laser thing. What's that doing up there? Here, give you guys a view of what I'm tootling around with. I'm still the jury is still out on my anti-lock braking system, by the way. I've got this epoxy here to epoxy the lid back on, but I'm not going to do that until I'm done fixing it. After I did all that work to put in new brake lines and made sure they were absolutely and completely primed, and then I used the computer in order to open and close and turn on and off the motors in order to prime the ABS system, which, I mean, the ABS system, it basically, what the analog brake system is doing is taking an amalgamation of a bunch of sensors, and it decides when to slightly release the pressure that you're putting on the brakes so that you can keep your car moving in a direction and have the absolute maximum or minimum stopping distance while still in control of the car. So you don't slide into something, right? So what it does is it actually has several pumps, and it also has bypass valves. So what it'll do is it'll activate bypass valves or activate slightly, I guess, higher pressure pumps. I'm not really sure how that works. And it will move fluid out of your braking system to alleviate the pressure that you're putting on the pedal. So when you prime your hydraulic systems in this generation of car, you prime the direct brake pedal to brake caliper system. That's like a one-way like piston. So if you got bubbles in that system, they just move back and forth, right? But your ABS system is like a bypass. It'll do a loop, and it'll take that high pressure brake fluid and exhaust it into the reservoir. So when you prime your ABS system, you can either activate certain valves and move that pressure out through the caliper, or if you've got no bubbles going out to the caliper, you can activate your ABS while driving, and it will cycle the fluid through and hopefully knock free any bubbles. So today, horrible slippery weather, perfect. So I took a drive out to Wawa and just absolutely hammered the ABS on the way there and back. So purportedly, according to, I don't know, physics and the laws of nature and all that is good and holy in this world, I should probably have flushed the system pretty well, and any bubbles should have had an opportunity to make their way out of the brake reservoir. Who knows? I replaced the master cylinder. I replaced the pre-pump. I've gotten no errors from either of those. The brake feels more stiff even though it still goes all the way to the floor. I don't know what to make of it. I don't know what to make of it, chat. And then of course my brake lights don't work for some reason. That was the cake topper right there. That was the absolute fucking end of it for my patience. The brake lights, I don't think they're dead. I think it has more to do with the switch on the pedal, because apparently the switch on the pedal is an actual functional part of the anti-lock braking system. So I'm now in a position where it is snowing, and tomorrow I have to go look at that before I do my drive down to Maryland. Fun times all around. I'm just so happy. I'm so happy. No, it's not fly-by-wire. You overestimate the modernity of my car. Car is an E39 from the year 1999. So 1999 car. We don't exactly have a super sophisticated braking system. Just run of the mill. Possibly overly complicated because it was the 90s. I'm looking around for that bracket. That's why I'm kind of like fiddling with stuff right now. Do you play the Prince song a lot? What are you talking about? I have no idea what you're referring to. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know the Prince song. I'm just looking around for a bracket. A word on snipey, sarcastic comments is that I will not remember what I said in order for you to make that comment, because I will have moved on, because snipey, sarcastic comments are meant to be made quickly, and you guys are on a delay. So I have trouble with those, and yet you guys still persist in trying to make snipey, sarcastic comments. They don't work, because I don't know what you're talking about by the time I read it. They just don't work. Well, I smell. Should put them deodorant. Of course, it doesn't help that my arm's like up like this. That's the dog shocker. I still have that up here. I have a collar on it. I'm not ever going to use it, because our dog is a good dog. She doesn't need any corrections. I did not see that bracket. I don't know if it exists. Work from home today, not a single email. Just give us the day. Yeah, really. I think that's quiet snow day. It's like quiet quitting, but it's a quiet snow day. Should be working, but I didn't even put in the effort to try it. That's a problem. Did you do any work with the actual ABS module? Yeah, we took it in here. This is why I bought the hot knife. We brought the ABS module to the bench and we took a look at it. We got to look right at the circuit boards of it. Because there's a common thing with the, what do you call it? Common thing with the engineering behind, a dog hair was like, God, dog hair everywhere. So yeah, a thing with this ABS module. It's a Bosch. It's called a Bosch 5.7 ABS module, and its claim to fame is that it can sit very close to the exhaust manifold because it is engineered to take that extra heat. So what the ABS module is in my car is a bunch of brake lines going into an aluminum block. That aluminum block has a bunch of magnetic valves that can be opened and closed on it, and then there is a piece of electronics that then bolts to that block and has all of the coils that activate those solenoids, as well as the brain for the ABS module. So there's a big wire loom that just goes right up to that thing. It's a big plug. So I can diagnose I can diagnose almost every sensor from that plug, which is neat, but also because they built it right where all the heat is, it goes bad. And it's a very expensive part. So what they did in order to handle all of that varied temperature swings and the car's just generally what's going on in a car is not conducive to electronics. So you need to have like very strong reverse current protection on automotive electronics. You need to have a high swing of voltage ranges because shit happens. And then, you generally need to have extremely good weather proofing. So what they did with this module is they sealed the electronics in it, and the electronics are a piece of ceramic with the chips directly deposited on the piece of ceramic, and the piece of ceramic has gold traces on it that then get wire bonds to everything. So there's no way in hell that I can work on any facet of that circuit. Sometimes the MOSFETs that turn on and off the motors go bad, and so people have taken to making a little MOSFET block and soldering that into the actual thing. There's a way, because they build the electronics, they close the panel and snap it into place, then they glue around the whole thing. So we tried our darndest to make a hot knife out of a soldering iron. The soldering iron doesn't exactly have enough watts. Something just clicked over there. What just clicked over there? Who's making clicking noises? Better not. It sounded like something's about to explode. Anyway, so I actually bought like a moderately, it wasn't super pricey, but I bought a hot knife. If I lose power, I'm gonna be very cross for about 15 minutes, and then stream's gonna end, and we're just gonna call it a day. Because if we're having power problems from snow on the lines, I'm hearing clicking from the backup from the UPS. So, but anyway, so that piece of electronics, we opened it up so that I could check to see whether or not all of the connections were good. The ones that I tested, the ones for the wheel speed sensors, were good. I can computer into the module and take a look at what it sees, and it's seeing good stuff for the entire car. I parked my car in the garage normally today and closed the garage door and hit the brake pedal, and I didn't see any extra lights. So I think the switch for the brake pedal is now what's wrong. But I have been through the entire system, and I replaced my brake lines while I was at it. So I've bled everything. I've activated the ABS module to try to get air out of the lines because it's snowing here, and yeah, that's apparently one way to do it, because the ABS module's like the ABS circuit is a loop, so that should supposedly push bubbles out of the system by using brake pressure. But I don't know. My brake pedal is a little like spongy, but it's a lot tighter than it used to be, and it still can kind of go down all the way to the floor. So it doesn't go quite to the floor. Why am I getting memes? Okay. Everybody who's all the working stiffs are at home right now, so I'm getting sent stuff by them because they're bored. And I'm not bored, I'm working. I got stuff to do. I don't understand how it could go to the floor at all. I found all of the extra little places where there were like slight bubbles, and I got rid of them. And I did the procedure with the computer in order to activate the pumps, then the intake, then the exhaust valves on the ABS module. Then I played with some of the ASC like cutoff valves and opening valves and stuff, and I got the car to make a horrible noise. But apparently that's what you do. Not the horrible noise part, the rest of it. That's what you do, and I did it. So I still got the pressure bleeder ready to go in case I need to do anything else, but I think there's no air in the system. The pedal responds very, very well, but when you hold it sustained, it'll go down almost to its length, and then it gets really tight. So I don't know. And it's it's an OE brand new master cylinder, so that should be fine. And there's no leaking at the brake pistons or anything like that. I don't know, man. I don't know what could still be wrong with it. Unfortunately, it's still a topic of head scratching, so we naturally talk about it ahead of stream. With the brake boosters, when it's super spongy all the way down, I can get it a little bit when there's no brake booster. When there's no brake booster, it almost feels like a good brake pedal. So, top off the reservoir. The reservoir's fine. I just bled the brakes. Everything's good. I'll have to take a look and see whether or not there's a little bit more. Air in the line is what I was describing, is what we're trying to chase down. Because the ABS module sits on the regular brake lines with some bypasses, and it bleeds out pressure from your brakes when you're applying them. So in order to get air out of the ABS module, there's two ways you can do it. You open the valves while bleeding it down through the regular brakes, or you hoon around in a parking lot and activate on different steering angles your ABS so that you're working parts of the system, and it'll bleed itself through basically, which is, I've done both. So I've done both. I don't know. Only way there could be air in the lines is if I knocked it free of the ABS module and it ended up in the path to the caliper, which I don't think it will. Hooning is the only way I've ever tried to bleed them. Yeah, if you're replacing brake lines on like a 2000s era BMW, like an E46 or an E39, like, work your goddamn hardest to make sure that brake fluid stays in the ABS module. I unfortunately had to replace the pre-compressor motor, which is not a thing on later models. I wonder why. But that pre-compressor motor is where all the air came from. I don't know how to make it go away, so whatever. The Hoonigan method sounds more fun. I didn't want it to run dry. I didn't want the pre-compressor motor to run dry because the pre-compressor motor was seized. We took it out and we put it on the bench and we actually unstuck it. We unstuck it. I had to like, and then I got it to spin, but there was detritus. There was like flakes of stuff in that brake fluid in the motor. So sitting, because my wheel speed sensors went bad, and ABS would routinely fail, right? It sort of had a cascade of errors. And so when it failed, that motor was no longer being activated at 30 miles an hour and it seized. So it's just this cascade of things going wrong. Right now, for some reason, because my battery went dead, my 2018 AGM battery decided, kind of cold out, I guess I'll die. And it just dead, right? No more battery. So I had to buy a new battery, which is fucking like $200. I hate it. Put that in, and then that power surge caused a lot of the parts of the car that were just super happy sitting at 10 volts for a while to get a full 12 to 14 volts and popped. So I lost 2 brake lights in that. I think the switch for the brake pedal is dead. I have to go troubleshoot it tomorrow. Isn't that fun? Fun. Old cars, real fun. Oh, and all the plastic that's supposed to keep water out of all these systems is just peanut brittle. So I had to buy a bunch of new pieces of plastic, bankrupting myself actually. But now all that stuff is in place, everything but one little plastic disc that goes on the windshield wiper. It's funny because it's not me. Yeah. There would have been a lot of stream content I could have shown you guys if I had gotten my cell phone running with OBS. Leb supposedly wants me to do that, but I just have been too lazy to do it. I am sore from head to tail though, because I've been up and down under the car for the past couple weeks. But this is all in preparation for my holiday plans. So I'm not gonna be here on Saturday. Sunday I don't stream anyway. We'll be back on Tuesday because I am driving for 5.5 hours on Christmas Day. There shouldn't be a lot of traffic though, so I can show up and be like, hey, Uncle's here, blah, 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 and then I'm gone. But I don't have a dog right now. My roommates left. My folks came over, took the dog, and now it's just me. It's just me. It's just me here. It's so quiet. It's so quiet. It's so quiet. So I don't have the puppy dog around. But anyway, things will come back on Tuesday after the break. I was about to drink this like a soda. That might have been a bad idea. Where am I putting this? I'll put it with the dangerous chemicals. The fireball area of the shop, the one that'll be really exciting if there's a fire. It doesn't fit. Oh, yes it does. There you go. I don't know if the methyl ethyl ketone worked or failed. Should we start by doing stool surgery? I need to fix my stool. We'll start by doing stool surgery, I think. This is like the easiest, simplest thing, and it shouldn't even count as content because it should be something that I do ahead of the stream. But I decided to just do it on stream and just whatever, you know. So let me do, what am I doing? I'm gonna get a drill. Anyway, yeah, stream started. Yeah, so I said I'll just start soon, get that out of there. Oh bother, there's no start soon up. Are you okay? Are you okay? Did you know that I know more about your production than you do? Yeah. All right, what do? Uh-oh, is that stuck? There you go. What do? Well, today do thing for shop, not burn subs. I've decided to take a little break with burn the subs. Just a small break, right? Because it's the holiday season. Last year I did a week of gaming streams, which I would really feel like doing again. But we do have to make progress on burn the subs because it's been a little bit too long. I got some tubes in the mail. I'm waiting for more. We're going to try to fill them with water and solder them on both ends without a bubble in there so that we can actually bend the larger inner diameter tube around a drill bit. 12 millimeters is kind of a big ask for 4 millimeter tube. So I've got 2 tubes. I've got ones with a slightly thicker, what is it, a 0.5 millimeter versus a 1 millimeter thick sidewall. So we can test that, and we can do that high pressure bending and see if we can't make a nice little coil that we can put around the laser diode carrier, and then we'll design some 3D print stuff around that to make it look cool. Did we finally donate the first board to the Children's Hospital? Let me check to see the state of my squalor. I think I can give you guys a peek of that. Yeah, I can give you guys a peek of that. So here's what, well, seal the tube and then slightly pressurize it, and then when I bend it, the pressure will keep it from kinking. That's the idea. That's what I found on the internet. The state of squalor in here. This is the fate of the old boards, by the way. This is what happens with the old. Why is this being weird? Hold on. My thermals are gonna freeze. The fate of the old boards. I made a big out of old the Burn the Subs 3 parts are sitting right here. Those LED strips I'm gonna put in the tracks here, and I've got a 3D print little lens on the front of that. So what I'm gonna do is put those LEDs in there, have the covers over them, and then connect them with a Tasmota device so I can turn it on remotely, and then have just like a little, because that's the backdrop for my computer desk. So I'm always looking at the Burn the Subs boards. I didn't do any special stuff about like rolling off new ones. I didn't do that. I decided against it. I don't know. I mean, like, I could put a couple boards together and then maybe use the Burn the Subs 3 system to like burn another board and then send it to Twitch HQ. I don't know if they'd be too receptive of that. I typically, we every now and then we see a staff member come into the stream, but for the most part, I haven't seen them be very receptive to, the mad, I don't think we've really like landed in terms of Twitch. You know, you see people like makers that get this amazing traction suddenly, and that just hasn't happened with us. Also, that light's not turning on. I need to find what IP address that has and bounce it back on. We definitely had a power surge. Well, we don't need to illuminate the board today. This is Burn the Subs, by the way, if you guys were wondering. This is the squalor that I live in. This is Burn the Subs. There's the steering wheel project. There's more of the squalor that I live in. I would like to also, one thing, the jig that I want to make today is something that I want to use on the steering wheel project, because I want this controller to actually exist on the other side of the foot panel. I'd rather that controller be right here and the chair attaches right here at the top. It's hard to see because there's a lot of stuff going on behind it. But yeah, if I had more space, chat, if I had a little bit more space, I could make less busy backdrops for everything. I could have actually like an area for parts and then an area for tools, and then I would have everything nice and organized, and I would have like an area that has like a neutral backdrop where I could put projects and they would look nice, but I don't have those luxuries. I don't have space here. I'm in the suburbs. I have to exist in a basement. That's how it is. So you get busy shots with a lot of stuff to look at. It's like a Where's Waldo of embarrassment. I know some of y'all are scanning for the most embarrassing thing that's on camera. Anyway, couple things that I want to get done today. I would at least like to have an idea of my circular saw attaching to some kind of a jig. A circular saw that attaches to some form of a jig that will allow this thing to travel in a straight line. And I do not know how you're even going to approach that at this moment. Most people use like 2 angle irons, right? I need something that's going to keep this thing tracking straight forward and backwards so that I can cut things like the metric rail, so the aluminum extrusion rail. This thing chews through aluminum extrusion rail like it's nothing, and if you put it on a linear track, it gives you a very nice end cut. I don't have a chop saw. I have been flirting with the idea of buying one, but seeing as all that money went into car parts, I am stuck with this thing. Now there is one that does use the battery packs too, and apparently that's really good, but 2C kaplams and a board. I have one like clamp down. What happened to the RC car? It's over there. it's right here. The the motor controller didn't really work out all that well. Uh-oh, there was a bunch of stuff that just fell out of it. Motor controller didn't really work out that well, so I'm kind of like retooling, and I want to use a 3-phase motor on it, just for funzos, right? Just for funsies, and just make a funsy RC car. But I haven't gotten around to working on this in a little while, so this thing is probably going to be pretty balls out fast with a 3-phase motor in it, and I'd like to pack all the electronics above the nice super duper servo. But that I bought just a regular old 3-phase controller for this thing that will fit in that area. I need to make it in Fusion 360 so I can make a plastic piece that's going to hold everything together. Because I want the gyro, the radio, and the motor controller to just exist above this thing, and then it'll use the 2S battery instead of the 1S. But that's not something I've had time to work on, which is unfortunate. There's only so many hours in the day, chat. Hey, you take that negativity and you just take it out of here. You're a moderator on this fucking shit-ass fucking stream. I expect a little positivity. I want this toxicness of unfinished projects. All right, so that's the idea of what I want to do, but let's do something easy first, because I bought these threaded inserts and I haven't done anything with them. So if we can put threaded inserts into the... No, you are actually very wrong. Let's put the threaded inserts into the wood of my stools so we can stabilize them, basically. And in the process, I'm going to be looking around for one of these brackets, because I've got one sitting around somewhere that I took off of this and I was going to use it on the laser gantry. This is, again, going to be our laser holder. And actually, if I relegate this to laser holding, I wonder if I could use drills and taps and grub screws in order to make this into a water-cooled laser holder. That would be an idea. I don't know if I could get... I can't really get like a full loop, but I could get this block right here to have hose fittings on it. That would be an idea. It would just be like 3 drill holes, right? You do the intake and then the output. And those don't go all the way through, and then the cross goes all the way through, and you put grub screws on the ends. Or you could just do one grub screw. You could do 1, 2, third hole, and then a grub screw at the end of that one to seal it up. That's an idea. That's actually something that I could do. And the problem is, I think I had that idea, and I modified my, what is this? Oh, I might have package deliveries. Or it's just people spreading salt. We'll have to check on that later. I'll have to check on that later during a break. But somewhere in the shop is a bracket that looks like that may or may not have been drilled out. And so I gotta find that, and I'm gonna use those two linear bearings that I have to hold on to the saw, because I have them. There's no other reason than that. I'm not actually using them because there's some kind of utility for this particular system. I mean, I've seen a couple products that use them. They just put a big aluminum plate between the two, and they have 4 bearings on the whole thing. Well, I only have 2 bearings, so I don't think I'm gonna be able to do anything with that. Okay, so I don't see it there. I don't see it there. Is it there? Not there. Okay, so anyway, stools. Let's do stools. Oh, I'm gonna have to move the microscope out of the way for this. When we have tall projects, the microscope just barely, it often gets in the way. We're not going to need a microscope. Maybe not even today. So I'll just put this camera up like that. You stay there. That's an awkward place, but whatever. All right. Going into the holiday season here. Yeah, look at the state of things down here. Look at the sorry state of things. I've got wood screws that are fully rusted over. Just barely holding on for dear life. And these stools. What up, War Saber? How's it going? War Saber. Your name is like Worcestershire. Barely holding on here. So let's do a little repair. Look at this. Look at the state of things. Oh, where did this thing go? Why are you doing this? Ah! All right. Hold on. Hold on. Ah! Why don't we just go there? You guys just sit right there, okay? Don't move. Whoever stained this did not bother. The other stool's the bad one. The other stool has locations that are twisting where the holes have been drilled again. But yeah, let's just like quickly get some threaded inserts in this thing, and then we can put down a bolt and a washer. A bolt and a washer. And then, if I have friends here at the shop, they can sit in the stool and not be in risk of dying. All right, let's see. So those are grub screws. These are, those are clamps. E-clip assortment? No, where are my helical inserts? I just bought these fucking things. Where do they go? Spring assortment? That's like the opposite of what I need. Where am I going? That camera's gonna be super dark. We'll just go to the face cam. Wood tech stream. It's not all gonna be wood. Carbon foam, bleh. Helical inserts. Where do they go? They're over here. I put them somewhere and now I've lost them. Is that washers? I bought a whole kit of washers, and in the instant that I bought it, I lost all of them because they all went into projects like immediately. Oh, is this? No, that's... I have metric... I bought kits of metric and imperial grub screws. That was my darkest moment. Forgive me for what I'm about to do. Oh, they're sitting on top of that. Okay, I got them. I got them. I got everything I need. Let me go sit down and... Oh, damn it. Drill. Drill's got the battery on it. Ooh. Remember, gotta gun it twice. All right. Now we gotta choose an insert. This is a quick project. It really is just a quick thing. You gotta drill 8 holes. I mean, geez, how hard can... well, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't invoke the spirit of how hard can it be. Don't need this. Don't need this. Helical inserts. Whatevers. This thing came with a massive hex wrench, but I lost it. So let me just find... Well, we gotta find the size that we're using first. How much depth do we have in this thing? I definitely don't want to poke people's butts with the helical insert, so... I mean, this would probably be a decent size. What's the thread on the inside of these? It's like moderately... What are sizes here? Oh yeah, there's no label. I just threw it out. Furniture screw nut T something blah blah blah. Okay, all right. This would be the smallest size, and it looks like a pretty coarse thread. It might not be something that I have in these. We might have to find hardware for these things, because this is definitely way bigger than what I expected. A slightly smaller helical insert, but that's all right. All right, there's gonna be a trouble if I don't have hardware for this. Let's see what I got. I got these bolts, but these are super long. They might be too long. These are probably exactly it, right? Yeah, of course. Of course, they're exactly what I needed. It's a pretty strong combo, but I don't think we have... I might have barely enough room to implement that. Look at this. That gets pretty far into the wood. But if it's inboard a little bit, there will be more material. So I guess we're going to plan for that sized insert, huh? So now we got to find a drill bit, and maybe we should work on the attachment to the thermals as well. Brass inserts can handle a lot of torque, yeah, but I don't need them to handle a lot of torque. I need them to hold the base of the stool on. I guess that translates into a lot of torque. Drillbitfind.exe. Another thing we need to do is fix the lamps for the milling machine, but I think that's probably going to come with the entire milling machine job. It's high time, once we get Burn the Subs in a good place, that I take this milling machine apart fully and we redo the whole thing. We basically have to find the parts diagrams, which you can. They're very easy to find. Find the parts diagrams, figure out what goes where, take it all off, grease it all up, put it all back together. I would love to upgrade the motor, but I think that's for another time. Because the motor, I want to use my 3-phase motor with it. That's about the size, isn't it? A little bit larger. Just a little bit larger than that drill bit. Because I want the drill bit to be just about, I mean... Yeah, I think that's exactly the size, so that the threads are all basically touching wood. And then the outside's there. Okay, so now I need to find a wrench. Horizontal bandsaw for all of my cutting. I mean, you have a horizontal bandsaw? It's nice. That's nice. I might need a horizontal bandsaw to split this piece of wood for burn the subs when I want to split it off and have another live edge board. That, or I just use this as like a countertop somewhere. Because it is a huge chunk of wood. Like way too thick for our purposes. There you go. I guess it is metric. M6. Wait, but then the fastener that I'm putting into it is English. I bet you there's an equivalent. I bet you 1/4 inch doesn't fit. Oh my God. Wait a minute. Yeah, that's loose. 7/32 is loose. Damn. So it's a 6mm hex, but it fits with a, what are these? These are like 1/4 inch. Right? These are like 1/4 inch. Weird. Oh, it's small. It's too small for burn the subs then, huh? Darn. Because I'd have to cut it basically with a horizontal bandsaw in half, and then I could you know, take the one board and do another live edge board. It might be that when that board fills up, I just sand it all off. It'll only exist in our memories. Just make it fit. I kind of want to sit down while I'm doing this. I'm going to get the other stool. I will make it fit. Shut up, Palpatine. This is wood shop. All right, so this one, we can just use the holes that are already there because they're all in the right spot. We don't have to choose the place with the least destroyed wood. And then in addition to, where's my, I gotta go all the way across the shop to get tape now. I'll see you guys later. Don't use the stove while I'm gone, and there should be food in the fridge. All right, I got all the way to the other side of the shop. There's my painter's tape. Painter's tape. Put it on your paint. It helps you paint. So these are gonna go way too deep just because the bolts that I found that fit with them are not small. We don't need this many threads to hold somebody's butt in place, but I guess we got it. So these will go all the way down to the surface because I don't want it to be offset. And they should be nice and strong once implemented. What we'll do is a tape depth line. I could put a depth stop on the drill press and use that. No, that's too extra. I don't need to go that crazy. We'll just do the simple piece of painter's tape. And I'll just go down to the painter's tape for each of these, and hopefully they don't pop through to the other side. Oops, that's reverse. I hate it. Didn't go through, although there's danger of it doing that in some areas. So let's give this one a test. I guess I don't need to use a washer because that bolt head, the head for that thing is huge. So tape on the drill, best solution every time. But you got like precision depth stops on like drill presses and stuff. Please don't split. Please don't split. Please don't split. It's a decent amount of pressure, I'll give it that. I need torque. I could use the impact. That would ensure that this thing splits the wood. I don't like the amount of pressure this thing is putting on. Down to the surface. Ugh. I might want to use a slightly larger drill bit. Yeah. Ooh, that thing is toasty. That's just from the force of friction against the wood. Yeah, that's fully down there. I don't know. What do you guys think? This is not strong wood. This is very soft wood. I think maybe I want a slightly larger drill bit. Or I just risk it and this thing will never ever move again. But then at some point, some fat ass like me is going to sit on the stool and it'll pop open. It seems fine. Yeah, I'm going to use a larger. I think it's too much pressure. Dun, 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 dun. There's always wood glue. When you see the state of the other one, you'll you'll know the types of trials and tribulations that I've been through on this one. So yeah, slightly larger drill bit because we have it, and I don't want this to be putting a lot of outward pressure on the wood. I don't want to split this wood. That's still warm. So slightly larger drill bit. All right. Risk it for the biscuit. I don't think that really risk it for the biscuit is kind of. I don't think that applies to this situation that much. Risk it for the. I mean, this is like what biscuit? What are you talking? What biscuit? I know what you're talking about. You're just scaring. You're scaring the rest of chat. You're scaring them. My mic. All right. What do we got here? This is probably the 1/4 inch, right? 7.8 millimeter. We need like 8 millimeters. 7.8 millimeters is a little bit too small. Also metric. We need an 8 millimeter drill bit, huh? It's hard to eyeball 8 millimeters. That's a 9 millimeter. That's, I think, too big. It's too big. 8.14. That'll do. That'll do, pig. All right, let me get the calipers out of here. Get the camera back over here. Kamura. Oh man, the 3M dual lock is really pissing me off. Hold on. I'm gonna remove a bunch of it. All right, the thermals will freeze, and then we're just gonna quickly do this. When you have too much 3M dual lock, it requires a lot of pressure to get it to lock, and that makes it tough to seat again. I've been looking for a solution for the drill bits, and I haven't found anything yet. I bought one of those magnet boards for knives, but it wasn't strong enough to hold on to the drill bits, so. But, you know, it's not your shop. I don't know why you give a shit. Stop giving a shit, chat. There we go. That should hold on to them a little better. And then I can restart the thermals. Properties. Deactivate. Activate. There we go. Okay, cool. That should fall off less. All right, so slightly larger drill bit. Tape. Depth. Breadth. Width. Just get it right there. It's woodworking. We don't have to be super exact, but I don't have a ton of depth into these things. Oh, sorry. Whoa. That was a level of crungo I haven't experienced in a while. Archer? Archer? That's Babe the Pig. With what's his name? The Star Trek actor. Started to blow the pond. Blow the pond at the end of my drive. Oh, away with the backpack leaf blower did not work. A lot of noise and fury, signifying nothing. What is that, a Venture Brothers reference? Was this the same drill bit? Did I do the same drill bit? I don't think I did. This thing is larger, yeah. Rapid evaporation attempt. I can't believe that was an Archer reference. All right, it didn't appear to remove material, but I guess I'm having a slightly easier time of this. I don't know. I guess woodworking is not as precise as metalworking, is it? And I'm having some trouble adjusting. Plus, this thing has already expanded the wood out. So I guess any subsequent holes are the ones that I got to worry about. You almost took me out with cringe. Like, that was almost a fatal blow. Oh my god, are you referencing Family Guy? And Zoomers in chat. You know it's reached depth when the little tape flag wipes all of the chips off of the workpiece. I hate this. I hate cleaning up chips of anything. How dare you use a corgi emote in this, my chat? My corgi is with my parents right now. Not at a farm. Not at a farm. No, it's not that. It's not like that. She's going to my brother's for the holiday, where I will join her eventually, but I don't have a dog for like 2 days. Tape hack? Ah, it's fairly common, right? You had to have seen that before. This is a struggle getting this thing in here. This is a too tight of a fit. I really don't want this to split the wood. Maybe we'll be okay. It's woodworking after all, right? But this is gonna, if this splits, I'm gonna be so pissed off. All right, that's 2. That's probably all we need, but I guess we'll go for the full set. Yeah, this is, I mean, I've seen this all over the place. Because you can feel it start to scrape when you get to the depth. And since it's woodworking, there's nothing is exact at all. This is so Bush League, working with wood. Ugh. I do like that we've gone to the length of having a thermal camera so that you can see that the friction is heating up these parts. I don't like that we have all the depth of these bolts. These bolts will hold up like a car. And you don't need that many 1/4-inch bolts on a stool, but my helical inserts are enormous. Sounds like a personal problem, and it is. And it is, because the torque required for this thing, I probably should use the other T-handled hex things that I have, because the friction ends up being so much that the little T-handle on the end of this thing gets kind of difficult to operate. Then again, that should be an indicator. If I can't do this by hand like this, then it should not be put into the wood. Then again, and I keep then againing, I could use my impact on this, and that would do it lickety split, but I really don't. I think this is a hand tool kind of day. Oh boy, please don't pop off. One of the stools that we have, the wood basically split across, and the thing popped out. So the amount of tension, the amount of friction that I'm getting before this thing bottoms out, it worries me. But it might just be that it's just friction, right? It's just friction of the brass thread against the wood, against the carbon foam. So we might be in good shape. This would typically be when everything explodes and everything goes wrong and the whole project blows up and then a capacitor explodes for no reason. I don't know what people were doing with these stools, but why is there a cut in them? Actually, I say that, but I remember I actually have cut things on these stools before. So these were bar stools, and then they became shop stools. Now they are just stool. You know, I could drill to this depth and then use a smaller threaded insert. I guess I don't need threads all the way down. I could use a smaller threaded insert, and then there would just be sort of this back area that the bolt could exist in. I should have thought of that earlier, before I full send all of the longer hardware in here. Because this is like, this is going to be way too strong. Oh well. Win some, you lose some. My wrist hurts. Jeez. Like flexing the hex key. Whew. All right, there we go. Torque is force over distance. Okay. Stool. Let's see how that fits together. And then I'll sit on it. Where did the bin go? Oh, yeah. Bada bing. Actually, I'm going to see if I have a ratchet for this. Let me see if I have a ratchet. Whoop. Look over here with all the ratchets. English ratchets are a little harder to come by around here. That is the wrong size. I used to have a bunch of English-sized stuff. I mean, in my car tools, I've still got that, but don't tell me this is a metric ratchet. That'd be weird. Weird, but not unheard of. Let's see. Sockets. That's what I was talking about, not ratchet. Yeah, it is. It's actually metric. I guess all this stuff is metric. It's an 11 millimeter. Okay. I guess I'm converting these over to metric. Now all the holes are going to be on all the wrong places, right? Does 11 millimeter line up with an English size? Check the depth. That'll be good. I'll hold it. I'm gonna have like a shop fire or something. Shop's gonna light on fire, and then all this stuff that I've done will be for naught. 11 millimeter is the size of all the banjo fittings, not banjo, of all the compression fittings in my brake system. They're all 11 millimeters. They're all annoying. Are these like specific to whichever leg they belong to? Yeah, they are. This is the only way they all line up. Yep. All right, well, there you go. Don't have to drill that out. I actually want to preserve the paint on these, so I'm gonna have to find 8 washers that'll fit. I guess I got plenty. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good, I'm actually using hardware that I never use. All this large, like, boomer-sized hardware. I'm usually working with very small stuff. It's nice to do a little variety of project. Hey, what up, Turvy? How you doing? Been a little while. Happy holidays, you nerd. Yeah. It's a bespoke artisanal stool. How's it going, Turvy? Good seeing you. Good on you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. I'm not going to put these fully in because I got to actually line them up now. Now that they're precision artisanal, I actually have to like bend the metal to get them to line up properly. Or we do 3 out of 4? No, that's not acceptable. That's not acceptable from something I've done. Proper manly hardware. Car-sized parts. Might need an extension to get the ratchet in here. There you go. There's a view. Of course, that means I'm going to bash the camera if I'm not careful. Careful. What's the torque spec for a stool? What torque spec am I going? I'm going to get the... Ah! Okay. Signs you've been wrenching bolts too much lately. Nine nanometers. Is it? It's not good. It's not a suspension component, so it's not Guten spec. Guten spec is used for suspension elements. Doing some wheel reinventing. I'm gonna build a time clock for 12 hours, so I glued a magnet to the hand of a clock and got a Hall effect sensor. What? Huh? You know, in a clock movement, there's like a nice, like, there should be a 1 second tick for the second hand, and you could just use that. And then you just divide it. It's a weird thing you've done with the wheel, that is. How am I gonna get that one to fit? Okay, this one's gonna be tough. What is more movement? No, no more movement. Okay, hold on. My doggy got to my brother's house. Yay! She is playing with the Finnish Spitz. Yay! What is she doing? What is going on here? She's sniffing. She's sniffing. Apparently she had diarrhea on the road, but that was it. Lurking around, moving cities and doing stuff. Vague. Staring at the horizon, wondering why the world's... Okay. Bit of work here and there. All right. Well, good on you. Good on you. So I've got to somehow get that bolt hole to line up, and it's like in a weird position. I don't exactly have the tools to figure this out. I could loosen both of these, but I don't think that's really going to do me much good. And then this one over here needs to like press in order to fit. All right, so I guess just manhandling. Person handling? No, manhandling. Okay, we'll do that over here. I'm going to make some noises. Probably should have marked these or just drilled them through the legs, but oh well. Oh well, LOL, LMAO. Let's see. Damn, cool, man. Cool that you're helping out. Good stuff, good stuff. How do I do this? All right, I mean, I gotta like crush it right here. Like aftermarket bolt-ons, yeah. Oh, you mean for this model? Yeah, they slightly changed the dimensions for this model. The dimensions are infinitesimally different, but it'll make a huge issue if you try to do it. Maybe I can just use like a base clamp, just like a normal clamp on it. Now, let me get a normal clamp without making a huge mess. See if I can't just use this to my advantage. Just because I am weak. This flesh is weak. Oh yeah, that'll actually help. Well, a little bit. A little bit. It's pushing things a little bit off to the side. So I've got to clamp it in the right spot, I guess. Yeah, this is just supplementing for how weak I am. Wind's howling. How do I get that to go up and to where I need it to? It's got to go... Like, if I squish these two together... Watch one of the rivets pops out. Ah! Actually, I would need this to go... like, over here, I guess? We'll make this work. I will make it legal. Ah! Fine, do it this way. Wait, I can't adjust it if it does it that way. I'm having so much trouble. Gotta rethink this a little bit. One insert in, screw the hole with just one screw. You mark the second hole. Yeah. We all know how it's supposed to be done, but what's done is done. So I can't undo what I have done to this poor thing. Yeah, the wind's like howling out there. Getting windy. My puppy made it to Maryland, though. That's good. Oh, that's lining up pretty nicely. I found my vector. If I lift it, I get a little bit of wiggle room, but not much. Looks like it needs to move. Ah! Needs to twist a little bit more. Ah, these are lining up like shit. I guess the fasteners in there before were much smaller, and they had more of an opportunity to move around. I can't even see the hole. Sounds like a personal problem. Father, this is painful to watch. Good. Good. Guess I want to try like doing... looks like we're getting packages in, so I might have to take a break. Clamping around pieces is a pain, yeah. Yes, sure it is. I do believe it. Yeah. 2 clamps? Is that gonna... I think I definitely need this to be clamped, because then it'll move that this way a little bit. I need like a tool that'll tell me what angle. What's the angle that I need in order to squish this thing into position? The clamp, the only reason I'm doing the clamp is just because I'm weak as hell. Not strong enough. That is almost there. I just need more screw on the thing. There we go. That's the ticket. Washer, bolt. The washer's there just so I don't damage the paint and have to repaint these due to rust. The last thing I need is for this thing to rust. Why is this thing, it's still not lining up? Oh, because it's slipped in a little bit. You stay there. This shop is not really meant for projects like this, so I gotta be careful I don't destroy a bunch of stuff by screwing about. Why are you not finding... The threads are right there. What could possibly be the problem now? That should be easy peasy lemon squeezy, and it's not. No, two of the bolts were not bolted in. No, it very clearly was drilled specifically for this rotation. I think. I mean, we could always take it off and test. Here's what we'll do. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna take a break, but it's not gonna be a long break. I'm basically just gonna retrieve packages that have been delivered at the door before they blow away in the wind. I got a pair of gloves coming, and I want to make sure that that I get those because my hands are cold constantly when I'm outside. So I'm gonna go get those things from the front of the house, and then I will be back. So I'm gonna put up BRB. Here, put up one of these. Where the overlays? BRB. There we go. And then I'll put up some music so you guys know that everything's still working. Why was the volume up so high on that? Why was the volume up so high? Did I pause it directly last time? I guess I did. Yeah, smaller. It had smaller screws before, but it only had 2 fasteners, and one of the 2 fasteners was almost falling out. So there's... We're putting up a little bit more clamping force and precision into this thing than I think it wants to have. Part of it is also that these bases are pretty rickety, so we can bend it into place. That's easy enough to do. We'll just take the other 2 bolts off and twist it, and we'll verify that I'm on the right bolt holes and see how many we can get to line up at once. Theoretically, at some point in time, this is screwed in with four wood screws, but. Whatever, we can make it work. We'll make it work. Don't you worry, chat. I'll be back in just a second. plaid puppy leash to go with my dog's harness. My Torx bits, they're frozen. Wow, this is a cold package. Brr. I've been meaning to get Torx for the ratchets, so that was a couple bucks. What else we got? Another big delivery today. I got no notification of that previous one. That previous package, it said they lost it. What is... Oh, it is identified. Made in China. Okay. What did I... Oh, this might be the fun one, folks. This might be the second half of stream right here. Maybe we don't build the jig. This is an EMF detector. A ghost hunting tool. Dun, dun, dun. There's ghosts here. We're gonna take this apart and figure out how it works. Hell yeah. Oh, I'm excited about that. Okay, Egon. Yeah. It's one of those ghost hunting tools that they erroneously use for the purposes of delving into random noise and saying or claiming that they've found ghosts. Are there two different size threaded inserts here that I've been using? Oh, no wonder. I might have been using a thicker threaded insert. What the hell is this? Oh, this is something I didn't expect to get either. I can't show you this last one on camera. I'm not allowed to. Not until I fill out some paperwork for it. I can't even believe that came so quickly. They said it was back ordered. Huh. I can't even show my friend this, or it might get me in trouble. Neat. That goes there, so it can get up to temperature, but I can't get it even close to some things before I get paperwork in, because of the way the laws work. All right, back to stools. Well, that's the wrong thing. Let me do the overlays here, and I think it's like, I think it's that, but no, what is that button? Why is that doing that? That wasn't for you guys. That wasn't for you guys. That's, how did that get on here? How did that get on here? All right, anyway. Most ghosts are near the power sockets. Yeah, they like to hang out there, don't they? All right, let's get this out of here. This is the PEX Summer Festival set from DJ Everyday. It's actually a really nice set. It's nice. It's nice music to have as like the background. Hi, welcome back. Those of you that are still here know what we're doing, but we're doing woodworking and bullshit because I need to do these little projects around the shop. One of them was to make a jig for my my circular saw, and as is stream tradition, when I've got a little bit of wiggle room in the project, I end up working on everything but. So we're working on putting threaded inserts on my stools because my stools are notoriously rickety. They didn't used to be this way, but the wood is extremely soft on these stools. They are nice. I like these stools a lot. I really do. And so I would like to continue to use them. So what I've decided to do is, instead of the pre-rusted, the pre-weathered, what is it? Why did I forget what the standard screwdriver's name was? The minus sign screwdriver instead of a flathead. What the hell is wrong with me? The flathead screwdrivers that are pre-rusted and too small for the holes that they've gone in. There was one holding up the frame and the other one was falling out. So, all right, we're not using those anymore. Those are designed to go into either a much smaller hole or no hole at all because they're tapered in the front. And what they would do is rely on the pressure of the wood trying to return to its original form to hold in that screw. Instead, we're putting in threaded inserts, which are these massive things that have 1/4-inch threads in the middle of them. And what we're able to do is to drill to depth and then insert this thing into the wood where it's going to have less pressure overall, but the threads will hold in much harder. So once we've got that going on for us, I am able to sink these, what are they, 6mm bolts with 11mm heads. So I guess they're 11mm bolts. Those are designed to go in the garbage. These screws are older than I am. Nothing's working. These are older than I am, okay? These are from the 60s. There's a lot going on back then. There's a lot of history in those screws. They are going in the garbage bin, though. Man, I gotta do all that paperwork soon. Ugh. I gotta get that going because it's gonna take a couple months for it to get approved. Paperwork so that I'm not a criminal. Okay, let's get these out of the way and let's reevaluate. Now what we did, we're not building, we are improving upon. We're fixing. So what happened was I drilled these out to the exact location. It looks like it's splitting right there. It looks like it's starting to split. Well, I hope that doesn't lead to a big chunk coming out of this thing. I think what happened was there's two sizes of threaded inserts at play here. Well, let me just check. That one's good. I think they're all the same thread size. I think just the outer... Wait a minute. This one feels different. I don't know what's going on with it. Okay, the beginnings of this one were just a little bit weird. If they watched your stream, they would know you're a criminal. Well, they've been known to show up at houses just by... They're talking about the some federal government stuff here, but they're known to show up at houses based on electronic correspondence. Rust on a brass insert? Rust on a brass insert. I used to play bass for them in college. All right, let's just see if rotating this thing will make things line up a little better. Absolutely not. Because they're bored and have nothing better to do. Typically, yes. You know, their marksmanship contest is not convening at this time of year, you know, so they don't have much to do. Yeah, I could get these two, but then these two are out of alignment. They would need to be pressed inward a little bit. That might actually work. If I get those two and then press these inward, I might be able to get it. Hey, give it a try. Don't have much to lose. We have so much to lose. Oh, I'm sorry I made that one. That was a bad one. That was a real bad one. Yeah, we probably should have rotated this a little bit and just done our thing. Because if we rotated it and then marked the 4 holes and then drilled them, that would be it. That would be all we needed to do. But now I've got this situation where some of them aren't quite lining up, and so we need to figure out how we can manipulate the metal tabs into position. Why is that getting tight? Is it getting... Oh, because it's... God damn it. It's all crooked, and this thing barely fits in, so it's like... Oh, don't make me use an open-ended on this. I'd have to go get my ratcheting ones. Yeah, it looks like I'm gonna have to. Wait, why isn't that fitting? What is going on with this thing? Why is it all stupid? Hold on. This is all stupid. These are the parts that always slow you down. These little weird things that happen. Is this not the right size? I think this is part of the problem right here. I think that's what this is. No, that works. Just needed to get through kind of a bad brass or zinc-plated steel. Furniture screw, T-nut, assortment kit. No idea, but they look like brass. Interested in people smarter than their current staff who happen to be using items bought from overseas. Now, I don't know what you're talking about. But I'm being intentionally vague. All right, cool. So that one's the right size. Just there's a little issues with the threads at the very beginning. This thing is still on? Stop it. Fucking Ghost turned it on. We'll take a look at that in a little bit. I'm excited about that one. I'll change the title and maybe, like, break the recording. I probably should have started with the good title, but we'll just see. We'll see as the day progresses. I'm here for a while, folks. I'm here alone, so, you know, I need a project. I'm going to be working on something. Otherwise I will just be lamenting all of the weirdness that my car is going through at the moment. So, yeah, it definitely... Well, no, I think this is the orientation that we want. It's just I need to bolt them in the right order. Because it looks like if I do 1, 2, then I can kind of squish these into location. Does that look right? I mean, that looks, it doesn't. No, I think it's 180 degrees. I think this is the way. Because then the patches, all the patches that are sort of stained line up way better. Yep, that's the way. Okay, all right, so now we got that. All right. I've spoken. Just this one is hard to bolt in because the leg of the stool gets in the way. So I'll just take this one down almost all the way. That way I'll have a little less trouble tightening it. And I'll have to get probably have to get an 11mm wrench or just an open-ended wrench. Or adjustable. Where are you? Right there. Yeah, that's much easier. All right. I mean, to be fair, this thing could probably just use one fastener. How many thousands of farts has the stool been witness to? Not as many from me as from the electronic means. The ratchet actually makes that a lot easier. Yeah, needle nose pliers. Oh god, there's so many threads. These are way too deep for this purpose. This is like, not even, you know, not even this many bolts hold the motor to the transmission of a VW Beetle. VW Beetle has 3 10mm bolts holding the engine to the transmission. And usually it's supposed to be 4, but that 4th one is really hard to get to. So people don't put it in. They just don't put it in. This is, I can't get to it. Yeah. I don't have an 11mm. Oh, I do know where, I know what wrench I have that is 11mm, of course. Clearly, I gotta go out to the hallway for it because it's with the brake booster kit, because 11mm, I gotta get the 911 wrench. Where's that 911 wrench? That's the 1012. That makes this one the 911. I gotta go all the way to the bottom of the cardboard box that I've got everything in. I'm gonna get brake fluid on my hands as a result of this. See, I don't have a ratcheting 11mm. The 11mm that I have, well, I don't. This is the only 11mm that I have. The ratchet set that I have just skips it. So we got to get the 911 wrench. So one side of this is 9mm and the other side of this is 11. It's a disaster. The only problem is this wraps around the fastener and that rivet is, fucker. The rivet is right there. Look at that. It's locked. It's locked into place. I can't do it. I can't do it. Okay, I'm gonna get an open-ended wrench, or an adjustable wrench, sorry. Adjustable wrench. Where's the little one that I got over here? There it is. Fun times. There goes my giant extension. Ta-da. I mean, you know, it's such an old stool, I guess it requires old tools. Because it's old school. It's an old fool that's old school. So you guys are all parked for the holidays, it sounds like. Sounds like a lot of the working people have days off or work from home and are able to get on the internet and hang out in this stream. Good on you. I don't know if I should be tightening this down all the way. Also, this thing is able to put so much torque into that insert. Those look mostly lined up. It looks like I could probably just wrestle them into place. Wrestle. It's like I'm gonna have to squish that one a little bit. I'm a weak computer person, so I can barely get these things to line up as is. I should loosen this up. Yeah, I should loosen this up. I shouldn't take it all the way down. Because I need to maneuver stuff. I have been feverishly trying to fix my braking system in my car, and in doing so, discovered that my battery went bad because of the cold. Then my windshield washer exploded The tube for it exploded. 11 millimeters, 7/16. I think I have a 7/16. Oh, you know where I've got another? I think I got another 911 over here. Yeah. Oh no, 1011. So this is a 1011. Now it still can't get in there. That rivet is right there. This is obviously a hex head cap would be much better for this. But this is just what I had. This is just what I had. You show up and remind you that forgot to use your Loctite. Why would I use Loctite on this? I need Loctite. How much do you think my butt vibrates? It's totally unnecessary. Yeah, the metal on these is so distorted that it's kind of tough. What up, Pyro? How it go? How do? How thing? All right, that one's loose. Let loose the goose. This should be more pliable, but I'm not really making any claims here about my strength. Airco seems to be fixed. I've been, like, my brakes have been putting me through the frickin' ringer this week. Every single time I try to fix something, it will unveil another problem that I'm having. And for some reason, I guess my stop pedal switch has decided to go out, which is relied upon for information by your anti-lock brake system. They need to know, or at least in this generation, they need to know that you've pressed the brake pedal, which is weird, but it's apparently a requirement. So now I need to actually fix that switch. I need to, and I don't have, I don't have time to order a part, so I've got to open it up and fix it. It's probably just like a really grody contact or something. It's not quite in position, so the bolt's kind of fighting me. I wonder if I could just force the issue. Here, there's just enough room for me to get the wrench, I think. I think it's going. Is it in yet? He says, wondering. It is. Okay, that's good. It is in yet. The old classic car work thing. This is what happens when like somebody who works on cars tries to do a simple home improvement project, right? I'm sitting here ratcheting this thing 1/16 of a turn because I've limited the movement with this bar here. The only tool I have is a deep socket, so that puts this up in the area where it kind of interferes if I'm holding on to it. And so what I've opted to do with all of the flexibility and freedom that I've been given around me is reach around this way and ratchet it like this. Why did I do that? It's because I work on cars, and this happens more often than you would care to admit. The kind of weird, like, okay, I can get a 1/15 of a turn on this wrench, and then I can flip the wrench and get it to slightly grip better. It's cursed. It's all very cursed. All right, so if I ease up on that a little bit, now this one lines up. All right, that worked a little better than I thought it would. Just a little bit better than I thought it would. But yeah, this, I don't know, I guess the brake switch, because I parked in the garage and then I hit the brakes and I didn't see anything light up, which is bad because what I was doing previously on the road was driving around at over 30 miles an hour, and it's been raining, like raining a lot. And so I've been hitting the brakes and activating the anti-lock braking system so that it cycles brake fluid through itself and potentially gets rid of any bubbles that might exist within that really badly designed anti-lock braking system. Would it have killed them to give you like a bleed screw, like an extra bleed screw? Instead, the unofficial way to get your BMW E39 and E46 brakes to be fully bled and ready to rock is to actually use them. You actually have to activate the system, and since it is a cycle system, it's got pumps and valves that it opens up and or operates in order to either boost or reduce the amount of pressure that's going to your brakes according to the information that it gets back from all of the other sensors, including the brake pedal and a brake pressure switch. it will then decide how to, it also uses accelerometers to decide how to steer your car in the right direction when you're panic braking. So if you activate that system, what it's doing is it is opening up from the master cylinder to the cylinder's reservoir. So it will reduce that pressure by opening a valve that is like a bypass. And so by activating the system, you make the system naturally do that, and then you can get rid of the bubbles that exist within the anti-lock brake system. Later versions of the car, when you hook up the computer to it, there's just like an automatic procedure that you can run that will help you bleed that out. But because of the weird nature of that car script that allows you to read the codes and do stuff like that, they got rid of the procedure that was in there. So I had to look it up and figure out what exactly to do. And then I didn't know if I was activating the right stuff. So I ended up just like today I was on my way to get lunch and I was like, wait a minute, I could just like do it. I could just like slam on the brakes here. But for that whole time, I didn't have brake lights. So I'm very lucky that there was not a police officer around. I consider myself very lucky that there was not just a bored, curious suburban police officer ready to read me the riot act about braking without brake lights in the middle of the road. Nobody was out because it's like fucking rain, sleet, snowing. Strange Parts made a new video about talking about his injury and recovery. Oh, yeah, it's good. It's good to see that he's back. I thought he was okay. I didn't think there was any issue there. I guess he just made a video to go through it, but man, that is fucking scary. Can you imagine? We're a slab of meat, mech piloting a bunch we're a slab of pudding that mech pilots a bunch of meat using static electricity, right? So having something interrupt that is just insane. It's interesting to observe how fragile and yet how robust the human body is at the same time, because things can happen to you that completely change your life and have you scramble around and make all these adjustments in order to get back to some semblance of normalcy, or you can bump your head on a door frame and get permanent brain damage. Like, it's wild. It's crazy out there. You have people that go through like farming equipment and they're fine. Like there was a guy that got both of his arms ripped off and dialed emergency services with his mouth. And like, I think he made a decent recovery. I don't know if he got his arms back or not. And yet there are people who just slip in the bathroom and die. Like, it's wild. All right, that stool is never coming loose ever again. I will never have a loose stool. I should probably reevaluate the words that I'm using to describe what we're doing right now. All right. Bada bing, chat. There we go. That one is as skookum, I guess, if you want to use that parlance. Look at that. Look at that. Big bolts. I got big, meaty bolts on my stool. Again, I really need to reevaluate how I'm talking about these projects. Smack it around. Yeah, smack it. Smack it. Make some noise. Yeah. Smack it. Yeah. All right, cool. Next. Well, this one has slightly better screws on it, but you can see this is essentially the comedy that I was talking about. This one was a prime example, and it was very well-mannered, I guess. I don't know, but you can see here sort of the process of the evolution, I should say, of the engineering that's gone behind these stools. This one is still attached, but boy howdy is it wiggly. And now it's forever wobbly. It's always wobbly. That doesn't matter. That part doesn't matter. It's fun. It's fun to wobble in your stool. Wobble, wobble, wobble. But it's not fun to wobble in your stool when it seems like it's about to fall out. So, what are we talking about again? Are we talking about the same thing? Can I use my worths on this? Probably not. Oh, yes, I can, because they're so friggin' loose. So the question is, how am I going to handle this one? Should I drill new holes? And I think the answer is probably yes. What's another set of holes to this thing? I can just drop a Sharpie marker. We can put a Sharpie marker into my stool. Oh, dear God. And then I can drill the holes properly. So there's the blank spot. There aren't many of them. That's one of them. These need to be like flattened a little bit too. If I really wanted to do an amazing job of this, I'd probably flatten out these tabs. Soldered some wires onto the movement of the board and plugged it into a transistor switching an LED. Looks like it's flashing a lot faster than 1 hertz. Popping the signal scope and it's 8 hertz. Cool, man. I can't give you any advice about that. That's you're getting into the type of things that will get me in trouble for commenting on, because the only designs that I know that involve clocks are nefarious devices of dubious origin. Yeah, I asked this expert in IED design how to put together my clock. Like maybe no. I'm gonna sit this one out. All right, let me get the, you know what, I'm gonna get the thin Sharpie just so I have a nice little loop where I know to drill. The problem is when this sits flat, these are in slightly different positions, so, because when they flatten out, they're gonna like move, and we don't have a ton, we have a little wiggle room, but not a ton. Not a ton of the wiggle room. We got a little bit of the wiggles. Then again, the base for these stools can go ahead and just flex all at once, because it is just a band of metal. Good enough? Good enough. My dad went through all the trouble of repainting these, but I don't think he knew how bad the wood was. I thought it was close to a drill hole, but it was just some crap. It was just some bullshit on the thing. I'm not hooking IED designs up for switching fluorescent light. We see how you might be a bit reserved. I mean, if you're switching a fluorescent light, it's like Tasmota device, man. Or just a basic electrical socket timer. I don't know why you can go to a hardware store and spend $12 on one. I know that's not very fun, but I don't know. Save the cool projects for the, save the brain for the cool projects. I guess you're learning about clock movements, though. That's always good. You may think this is constructed out of wood, but you would be wrong. This is in fact soup. This is a form of suspended soup, more like a stew or a curry. I like that the sign that you've drilled far enough in is that it sweeps all the chips away. All right, so let's see if we don't split this one with some inserts. Don't drill into Zoran's soup. Mr. Zoran! How's he been? I think he's been okay. I think I've heard from him lately. He's one of the Robert mods. Which inserts were we using? Were these or these? I think we were using these smaller ones, which is why I was running into all that friction from the big ones. The other ones have much like these, the ones from the top of the bin, I think have wider threads. No, they're just longer. These are just different lengths. They're all the same threads, I guess. It really does look like these are thicker. Yeah, they are. They are thicker. What are we doing with such thickness? There's only so much thickness in this world. Yeah, these are the exact depth of the... So I should be using these. That's the problem that I had with the other one. That's why it was fitting so tightly. Although, that might be an advantage to it, and I guess it's not going to matter now because we already finished. So, I'm finished! So I'll use these and see how we do. These'll fit a little bit more nicely. They won't put up as much of a fight to get in there. Look at all the holes on this thing. Jesus Christmas. Welcome to my holiday stream, where I make a bunch of references to poop and I fail at the most basic of hardware tasks. Wouldn't have it any other way, huh? I should get my my ratchet hex drivers. It would make this a lot easier. I'd get a little bit more torque. That is the fitment that I was looking for, that right there. Because there's a little bit of heat, there's a little bit of friction, that's good, but it's not so much that it's bending the hex wrench. So if that other stool top, the one that I'm sitting on right now, splits, we'll know why. Because I'm stupid. We didn't mark which one goes where. Carpal tunnel. I know, this is what the human body was naturally designed to twist like. Why do my muscles hurt? Everything hurts. Everything hurts because I've been working on my car. I've been bitching about my car all day, so I'm not gonna continue doing that. I will probably talk about it again, but what I should have done is taken the brake pedal sensor off, and then we could diagnose it here together, but I'm not that smart. Now, I'm not streaming tomorrow, because tomorrow I gotta prep for all the driving that I gotta do. Traveling with diabetes is very difficult. It's very annoying. Even if it's just a day trip. To my brothers in Maryland. It's so quiet here today. I don't have the puppy with me. She's at my brother's house now. And there's nobody else in the house today. It's just me and this creaky stool making creaking noises. Oh my god, so much friction. At least these things are friggin' biting into that material really, really nicely. A tree fell in your backyard. We actually have a tree that's down on a power line right now. It's like, oh, good. You guys get any of the crazy wind? I'm listening to it outside. It's making whooshing noises through the fence. I don't know how windy it is, though, because I've not been taking the dog on walks today. I don't know what's going on outside, save for my driving around without brake lights while panic stopping in order to cycle my ABS system. That could have been really bad. I could have really confused a poor driver. I'm just glad I took routes where people weren't around specifically, so maybe nobody noticed. Or maybe the brake lights were functioning during that time, but I pulled the car into the garage so that it didn't get snowed on. It doesn't get snowed on. It didn't having been snow. Anyway, I pulled it into the garage for safety purposes, and I hit the brakes and I didn't see any lights turn on, so 50 to 60 mile per hour gusts. Well, right now the window over there is opening and closing with the gusts, so I guess it's getting here. I'm not too far away from Groovy something, so if he's got wind, I've got wind. No need for the fart machine today. Well, it's gotten plenty of exercise already. Hate to admit. That worked out really well. Let's see if we can get the top on there, though. Lock the window. Is it that bad? I've got the temperature in the house down as well, so it's actually really, really comfortable for me to exist. I've got all these extra layers on me. I didn't get my gloves, though. Sad about that. Didn't get my gloves. Oh no, none of the holes line up. Oh my god. A weather command. You can just punch in my zip code. It's 19312. Just do weather 19312. United States. United States 19312 is my serial number. You're not gonna get anything else out of me, you filthy commies. That doesn't line up. There we go. My homepage is AOL.com. Oop, okay, get that there. Did I get 4 bolts out? Yeah, they're over here. Yeah, it's just so hilarious when people quote the same joke over and over again. Listen, as somebody with diabetes, I know how funny it is to hear the same joke over and over again. Oh, a phone number? I got an original and fun joke for you. You have a weather command for Nightbot? Yeah, I guess I could put that in. If you're on my Discord, this is a nice segue for me to plug my Discord. If you're on my Discord, just throw it in the stream projects section, because yeah, I guess we could do that on the command. But I mean, historically, one person ever has used it, and that was right now. So we pared down the amount of commands that Nightbot had, because it was doing too much. Doing too much. I like to keep the bot to a minimum, because then you get things where people are like trying to roll dice and just spamming up your chat. I know sometimes chat is pretty quiet around here, but I don't want it to just be full of bot commands. Filthy bot commands. Just paid $12,000 for a new AC in here. Yeah. Got down below 15 degrees last night. Last year we did that with the AC. We had to redo the whole system, because 90s construction, that's what this house is. 1990s construction. Yeah, Nightbot has a command where you can roll like D20 and stuff, which can be fun. It can be fun before a D&D stream to roll some D20 and just see how the fates are treating you. But it also can be spammy. It also can be very spammy, which I don't like. I was part of a diabetes IRC, and they did the whole suite of bot commands, and it just became people playing with the bot. Is this thing not going in, or is it just doing it very slow? I think it's just doing it very slow. I'm putting my hand onto the fasteners so that, because there's not quite enough torque for it to set this thing off. We rebuilt these tools, by the way. This thing isn't going in. Give me the fucking... No. Okay. Is it in yet? Heat pumps start to not work at these. What do you mean? I've heard the neighbor's compressor turning on, but it's like dry and freezing cold out. I don't know what's going on with that. You would think they would, because some of the neighbors have a fountain too, and I fucking hate that thing. Nobody's maintained it in like a decade, and it just makes dribbling noises all night. I'll put the zip code in, don't worry about it. When I get around to it. Come on, there it is. There it is. All right. That last quarter turn is it's a learned thing. That's my torque spec. Depending on what fastener I'm using, like if I'm putting in this bolt and it can probably take a ton of torque, but when I use this wrench, I follow the torque spec of just enough pressure on the end of the wrench. When I'm putting wheels on my car, I do my short breaker bar, and then I pop it on the very end a couple times. And that gets me up to wheel bolt spec. It's a car. It's not a space shuttle. You don't need to use an electric torque wrench or even a popping torque wrench on every single part of the car. Oh, this one's not going in either. Eval query, weather, Duluth MN. Start weather query, replace the Duluth MN. Yeah, that's, I mean, come on. What do you take me for? How dumb do you, don't answer. Don't ever answer that question. This is like working on the car. Oh, it's a super simple job. It'll take 2 seconds. And then you run into every kind of fountains are easily fixed. What, you want me to go get a load of gravel and just like dump it on their fountain? Because I'll do that. I'll order that gravel and I'll have them dump it in that fucking hole. And then I'll use that gravel. You know what they used to encourage you to do is with like waste oil, used oil. Wait, is that? Oh, Duluth fly, Duluth, Minnesota. I think there's a theme to the username. Anyway. They used to encourage you to put waste oil, like from your car, into a... Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding? This Bolt, piece of shit. Bolt thinks it's better than me. Think you're better than me, Bolt? Think you're better than me? Come on. Find the threads. Where is the misalignment? What is the direction? Oh, I can hear the window doing stuff. No? No ghosts? Ghosts have been opening and closing that window today. Yeah, this is the kind of shit that I always run into with cars. It's like, I always have to invent the whole job, and then once I figure that out, it gets super duper easy. I need to be better with the manuals. Yeah, I figured you live in Duluth, Minnesota. Yes, I put 2 and 2 together. I think that was clear. Explain 12. Do you know the YouTube channel Air Force Proud? I don't know what the fuck. There's numbers behind it. But those are always fun. He always, you know, does like ATC controller stuff. It's a good time. This isn't going in. This isn't going in. What's the misalignment? Hold on. I got to put my head. You do. Good. I got to put my head over. Okay, so it needs to come this way in order to get the bolt in. He's a trip. Yeah, those are good videos. I like them. I like them because they're dry air traffic controller, but he's also at least a little bit funny. Sometimes he's at least a little bit funny. Oh yeah, used motor oil. So what they would do is tell you to get a post holer and go out into the woods, and you dig a post hole and fill it with gravel, and then pour your oil in there. Don't let the bolt drive you nuts. Your screen name is Blockchain. I will not take such commentary from you. Yeah, they want you to just dump it in the woods in a hole full of gravel. Whoa, that made popping noises. Why did that make a popping noise? Probably because this was adjusting down. It's like flattening the tongue out. Ah. No. Ha ha, I didn't drop it. I think these aren't Craftsman. Yeah, these are Autocraft, and this is Craftsman. I need to buy Craftsman versions of these because the difference in maker means that the little lock on the end of this doesn't grab onto them as well. But these aren't meant for high torque scenarios, though. The gravel filters out the impurities. What they do with it now is you can get a waste oil heater. So they've got something that takes all of that delicious dinosaur juice. I don't know what it does with it. It probably makes some of the worst fucking sludge known to man. It's probably just inherently carcinogenic, but it will take that waste oil and it will produce heat with it as a fuel source. And I guess then you probably have like a solid thing that you throw out. My friend has one in his shop, very nasty. What does it do? Does it like filter out all the stuff and then you have this like solid block of carcinogen that you have to throw out? I mean, it's a place to put all that old oil. That, or you could be real thrifty, and you could you could strain your own oil. Ugh. Never mess with it. Yeah, I'm just curious about the operation. I know of its existence. I just don't know any more details. I guess I'll keep these wood screws. Okay, so now the stools are no longer a safety hazard. Look at this. That's all you need to know. You could make a rotation encoder out of that. Fucking things. All right. Fucking thing sucks. Doing it live. Play us out. What does that even mean? Oh man, that feels so much better to move around. All right, I'm gonna use the one with less holes in the bottom. I think that'll be a little safer. So before I clean up, I'm going to go and change the title now to taking apart a ghost hunting tool. No. The shop is haunted. Windows keep blowing open for no reason. Taking apart a ghost hunting tool. Ooh. Done. And then I'm going to stop recording and start recording.